I'm Kevon Owen, and this is Jack Smith, and we do counseling because it's what the shirt says. And one thing that happens over the course of counseling is we get a lot of questions, and a lot of the same questions come up in people's lives, so maybe it'll help you where you're at. Jack, I have a question that comes up from people who have forgiven someone. Someone's hurt them, and they've forgiven them, but they still, when they're around them, they're guarded, they're easily angered, it's just not sticking. How do we help them?
Well, you can get triggered really easy by seeing somebody's face or hearing somebody's voice or hearing somebody's name that you have aught with. And I think one of the main things, this might get nerdy and get into a lot of neuroscience stuff, but I think it's really important to understand why this is happening. Whenever we think about something, anything, there's a schema in our brain, like a mental picture, and that's how we see this thing. If I said, think of a black cat, well, you just created a black cat in your mind. Was the tail up? Was the head sideways? Was it inside, outside? Was it on a fence? Was there a tree? I mean, like, everybody has their own picture of things. And so what happens is when you have problems with somebody, you have a picture in your mind, and that picture that comes up, it's usually unconscious. It's coming up and it's negative. It's got something bad. It's almost like a default. You're not consciously thinking about this. It's almost like an unconscious trigger. And so a lot of times what you have to do is you have to consciously think about that person and put them in a better light, paint them in a better light, see them different, think about them positive, forgive them, see the best in them. And when you do this, you train your unconscious mind to create a different picture, and you're not as easily triggered. I know that's deep, but that's really how this works.
It's a process. We serve a God that when He forgave us, He forgave us forever. He forgave us in one moment. We received that forgiveness that He offered. Now, I don't work like that. So if I was walking in the door and Jack ran me over with his car, I may get up and limp in and forgive him for it. But we're in Oklahoma, and tomorrow when it's 20 degrees and the next day when it's 80 degrees, my body hurts. I may wake up angry, and I may wake up hurt again, and then I would have to think about it, and instead of being mad at that Jack who's driving like a crazy man, I have to choose to forgive him again and again and again. And as we work that process, it sticks a little bit each time.
Yeah, it's so important to let things go. And I know everybody's heard the phrases like, unforgiveness like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. And there's all these little sayings so you can relate to this, but it's so true. When you don't forgive somebody, you have issues with somebody and you're not letting that go, whether it affects them or not is irrelevant. It's affecting you in a negative way. Why would you want to have somebody hold that power over you? Because that's what it is. You're giving a piece of yourself, part of your peace and serenity, to somebody else that you apparently don't like. So if you don't like them so much, why are you giving yourself to them to control? You've got to understand what's happening here.
But I want to forgive. I want to not be mad when I'm with them. Well, sometimes it helps to redirect your mind whenever you're with them. Sometimes it helps to remember what forgiveness isn't. It's not going back to as though that didn't happen. That old forgive and forget thing, that is applicable if you had like cognitive brain damage. But as far as like your brain really going, that didn't happen, it doesn't work like that. Forgiveness is choosing to lay down the hurt and the anger, and if you keep picking it up, keep laying it down. If you need help with this process or just somebody to walk with you along the way, we do counseling and we'd love to help.